Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Future Proof Use Podcast, F Yourself. Today, we are going to be talking about AI. As always, my name is Dan Yu, and we are joined by my partners, John Lovig and Aaron
Hello.
Makelky. Today, Aaron is under the gun. We're going to be asking him a lot about AI and how companies are transitioning to be more AI first. I think a lot of the pushback has been unwarranted. It's where the market is going. And so, um, Aaron, I'd love to you just kick it off. What are some of the trends that you're seeing with companies making that move to AI first?
Yeah, well, let's just talk about this as if it's in phases. The first phase, a good way to think of that would be AI curious. You open a new tab of Chat GPT, Perplexity, whatever you're using, and you're just experimenting with things. What can it do? How can it help me? What could I automate? Now people and companies are starting to move into what we're hearing called the AI first era, which is instead of experiment on the side, it's actually start with AI and know how to strategically integrate it into what you're already doing. Instead of playing around in a chat window, it's deeply embedding it into the work that you're doing.
Well, companies are going to be making this move faster and faster, right, into all of their processes. Ultimately, they are going to be doing much more with the same level of talent, or maybe less than they have today. And John and I, being both recruiters, we are seeing the move, and we've actually worked for clients that have been very active in hiring both prompt engineers as well as generative AI training talent. Um, and so, bringing that awareness, right, I think is a big trend as well, right, Aaron?
Yeah.
Within organizations.
Yeah, let's use some specific examples. Here's one from my marketing circles. A copywriter was hired to be the last human in the copywriting department for an agency with the explicit instructions to automate themselves out of that role. Like, you're the last human, but we don't even want to have a human help us build systems so that we can replace you, not necessarily from the company, but from that position. I mean, if you would have told that to people a year or two ago, they would have laughed and said, that won't happen. That's crazy. That's in some distant, far off future. That's happening in 2025 already.
And
Yeah.
John, what things have you been seeing as far as companies making that move, in their hiring practices?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things. One, I mean, we already talked about the Gen AI stuff, but even way earlier, around the initial launch or public launch of OpenAI's ChatGPT, around that time period, now BuzzFeed slashed a bunch of their team. They replaced what's better at creating listicles than AI. That's what AI does best right now. If you want something, and especially if you're analyzing a ton of data out there in the marketplace, or what's going on in pop culture, it takes one person. You could triple X, quadruple X one person in the place of what used to be five or six. But more importantly, in addition to seeing companies start using AI first language in terms of their job descriptions, I'm working even right now. Most of my searches, AI comes up. I'm hiring a VP of marketing for an AI training company. I'm recruiting for a VP of product. His job is to work across an entire product suite to introduce agentic AI in as many features as possible. So to create as many AI agents to solve customer pain points as humanly possible. And so it's coming up now, and it's only going to, even our own applicant tracking system that we use in my company now, they have like 9 or 10 fields like on their website that say AI agent coming soon. It doesn't say what the AI agent's going to do, but they have a handful of them that they'll be bringing to market very soon. And I'm starting to hope it's something that really does make my life easier.
That's great. And so the fluency is really required almost
Yeah.
from the get-go. Aaron, you've seen certain companies just outwardly say that recently about the kind of talent that wants to work at a certain company and the level of AI fluency that's required.
Yeah, the most recent example for people who aren't catching this right when it comes out, June of 2025, Zapier, which is an automation company that's been around way longer than ChatGPT and all these AI models, came out and said in a company blog, if you aren't at least interested and curious and experimenting in AI, we will not hire you, regardless of technical skills or experience or things that maybe would have mattered more in the past. And they put out a chart that we'll link in the show notes that you can open and look. And by role, they list what's an unacceptable level of AI fluency
Mm.
versus capable, adaptive, and transformative. And they explained how they're going to start hiring for that. Their interviews are going to be reframed around AI, at least mindset. That's where the AI first comes in. It's more of a way of thinking than it is technical skills. So John's a good example of this at his current company. We were talking about you before you came backstage and said, I'm sure there are lots of other great recruiters and you are one, but a unique skill set you bring is you can bring the company along in the tech, the AI, the content that you do. And I'm sure that's part of why they hire. And you see that in roles that you guys hire every day.
It's a direct mandate from our CEO that's a project I'm working on, is making us an AI first company.
And you bring that up, Aaron, the curiosity, right, and the willingness to experiment, right, and try new things, and then also you mentioned being transformative at Zapier, right, and so that's really being strategic, right. So thinking strategically, those are all emotional intelligence, right? And so it kind of goes back to the theme that you have to be curious, you have to bring your emotional intelligence to the job, even in an AI first company. And so no matter what, I think the real transformation is within all of us, that we have to become more empathetic, we have to bring more EQ to our roles. Rules based tasks are going away. What do you guys think?
Yeah, here's what I would say the irony is, and most especially tech people don't appreciate this like you do, Dan. It's not actually technical skills that make you AI first. It's human, social, soft skills. So the example I always think of is if John went to his company and gave everybody a license for some AI tool, it's like, here's this cool, powerful, agentic thing, it would change zero behavior. That would be like giving everybody a treadmill and saying, look, you all do cardio now. You're all at a healthy BMI. No. In fact, they're probably going to resent you that you just dropped off a treadmill and didn't teach them how to use it or encourage them, right? AI is no different than any other technology. If you dropped a high-end PC with Adobe Premiere off in everybody's cubicle, that doesn't make them good video editors, right? That's so the funny thing is, how can you teach it? How can you share it? How can you view it as a cultural change and a change of practice more than it is technical skills?
So I think a lot of people are still apprehensive because they don't know where to go and they don't know where to start, so that they feel that they can be level set, or at least try to be level set on the technical side. So that's great. Oh, I've got, I'm curious, I'm willing to change, I'm willing to do all of those weird experiments, but I don't even know where to start. So where do we go?
Yeah, well, you're listening to this podcast, so you must be looking for content online. Your favorite YouTube channel, podcast, LinkedIn creator, all those are great. This is also explicitly why we started Future Proof You, right? Is because we said, especially with what's coming down the pipe in society and technology, there's going to be a shift in hiring and jobs and careers that we want to help people have a step-by-step process to take control of their career for themselves and not just trust that their company will have their best interest in mind, or everything will work out for them. So the other one is you can take a class from us. And if you're listening in June of 2025, we have an AI first workshop that you're going to come with problems, with workflows, with things that you wish you didn't have to do manually every day. And you're going to leave with a customized AI tool that you even get a license for. You don't even have to pay to use it, which is, by the way, worth more than the cost of the class. And you can learn from us and ask us questions and meet other people that are developing an AI first mindset as well.
So some of the tools that are out there, I mean, obviously the big name ones, right? So ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude, um, and also Perplexity, right? That's been in the news. Scale, right? All of these companies, they're all in this race, and they're all going to get better in leaps and bounds, but they're all still competing. So I put it to both of you. What are some of your favorite tools? And where do you think the trends are?
I'm going to let John go first.
Yeah, it depends. So far, the tool that's encapsulated the most interest from me has been Perplexity, and I think it's just the versatility of the enterprise platform and its ability to take stuff that I'm already generating and help me use it more. I also think what's really interesting is it's AI, but recently I used Google Meet for the first time in a while, and their transcription is really great. So it's and it gives you really good meeting overviews. So obviously that's Gemini powering that, and Gemini is great at answering questions in app, in email. So it's interesting because right now we're seeing uses of AI where we live. What I'll be fascinated by is if we get to a point where AI is powering the overarching operating system like a Copilot or a Siri, and when that gets to the point where it integrates with all the other things that we do in our lives, that will be fascinating to me.
This reminds me of the meme that you have a desk, right, and it's got all of the different tools on it. And this is from let's say 1985 or something, and it has a boombox, and it has a TV, and it has an Apple IIe, and it has a voice recorder, and it has all of these tools. And then fast forward 20 years, and it's just a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's got a video camera and a camera. It's got all of those single use items. And so in many respects, this is what we're seeing again, right?
Yeah.
So you went from all of these tools, and then now you can find them all under the the Google ecosystem.
Well, and what's funny is the tablet came out so early in comparison, but think of how much more powerful a tablet can be if the input to the tablet doesn't need to be a keyboard.
Right.
Then you don't have to deal with something bulky that you carry around. And then, of course, there's also the other forms that companies are trying to implement around, either AR, VR, some of these other new ways of visual seeing information, or just even, communicating verbally with things. But sometimes you just need to see something. I look at LinkedIn profiles and portfolios all day. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Do I have to type in things in the future? No, maybe LinkedIn's eventual their AI capabilities might get to the point where I could just tell LinkedIn what criteria I'm looking for, and it will put it in for me.
Well, we've seen even recently, science fiction has become reality with a Johnny Mnemonic type of plug in, right? So who knows? Maybe one day, we'll all be just plugged in to just think about where we want to go, and with whatever we're researching. Aaron,
I'm going to take a different angle. I think large language models and the chat interface are the AI curious UI, UX. And now agents is a big thing. Vibe coding is a big thing. MCP servers. one that I've been playing with this summer that's only going to grow is AI first browsers. And I'm a historian, so I don't make
Mm-hmm.
predictions, but I think the traditional type in the search bar, look for links, open those in tabs style of browsing is going to be dead pretty soon. I have been playing with Dia browser, DIA. You can DM me on LinkedIn if you want an invite. It's made by the browser company that made Arc. That's been my daily browser for most
Mm-hmm.
purposes for the last year and a half. But now you can chat with open tabs. The Zapier blog post I have open that's all about AI first mindset. In the sidebar, you have a chat interface, and I put in /write me a LinkedIn article about this. It has context on my writing style that I told it, and it drafts a LinkedIn post based on what's open in my tab. And then if LinkedIn is open, I can say, let's post this on LinkedIn or adjust it for my audience of entrepreneurs or educators or whatever. You could open up for John, the video game world. People were talking about opening up different tabs in your game history and lore, and then asking your browser to compare them or tell me how to unlock that item in the game that I'm in. Read these two finance forecasts and tell me what I should do with my investment portfolio, all without even looking at those tabs. So Dia browser, Comet from Perplexity, I don't have access to. I'm mad that I don't yet. I'm such a fanboy. It hurts that I don't have it. But I do think what the LLM can overlay onto your browser without having to manually interact, I think that is an AI first mindset shift that's coming, and one of my favorite tools that I'm not good at yet because it's new to everybody, but I think it's going to be more and more common going forward.
That's terrific. Really helpful for all of our audience. I think there's a lot of tools that and tidbits that we have here, both for the experienced and all, of course, the newbie, right? The Luddites. It's okay. Everyone has to start somewhere, and it's going to suck wherever you start from. So it's okay to suck in the beginning, and you'll just get better every day. And so bringing that curiosity, the willingness to experiment, as well as being able to think strategically. I think that's going to be the key for everybody going forward, bringing your emotional intelligence, your EQ. Any final comments for today, gentlemen?
Yeah, if you missed the live class in June of 2025, check out the website futureproof-you.com, and there'll be a asynchronous version that you can grab for the AI first mindset workshop.
Excellent. And we're going to be having more products coming out, more classes. John, we'll have more communities, right, coming this summer?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I don't know anything about any additional ones as of yet, but I think the existing community might have more expansion.
And the
Excellent.
LinkedIn lives are ticking up too. If you don't follow the Future Proof You page on LinkedIn, you'll see LinkedIn lives periodically as well.
Yeah, we love a good AMA.
Yes, absolutely, where you can bring your questions and really ask us whatever you want. So this has been another episode of Future Proof You's podcast. F yourself. F yourself. We're here to help you future proof yourself. That's even in the name of our podcast. So Future Proof You. This is another episode of our podcast. Thank you so much for joining. Aaron, it's good to see you as always. John, have a great evening.
Everybody.
Thanks so much.